Welcome to Native Thunder. I am Tim Bear, and Tim Bear speaks truth. On the show today, from the great northern provinces of Canada, from the Mohawk Nation, we'll be interviewing Jonathan Miracle from the band Broken Walls. This interview will lift up your spirit. It will make you want to do more for the Lord. I ask that you sit back and listen to the music, listen to the words, and may your spirit soar. Isaiah says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand. It is I who say to you, fear not, I will help you." What a promise. Keep it in your hearts, brothers and sisters. Keep it in your heart. Our contact information, Tim Bear, P.O. Box 1612, Buffalo, Missouri 65622. If you have a CD you would like played on Native Thunder, send it to me. Or a cassette, a children's poem, whatever. We would like to hear it. And you may hear it here on the air, on Sky Eagle Television and Native Thunder Radio. Our email address, timbear@yahoo.com. Tim with two M's, TIMMBEAR@yahoo.com. And don't forget the phone zone. You can call 240-718-8466. Tell me your testimony. Tell me your experiences. Request a song. 240-718-TIM-8466.
You're listening to Sky Eagles Native Thunder TV and radio with Tim Bear.
Songs for the Storm.
The Great Spirit is known among our people by many names. Grandfather, Creator, the Great Mystery, the Maker of Life, and by other names from our many languages. This is His story, retold from the sacred book, the greatest story of all. It begins with the great storyteller, the one who is the Son of the Great Spirit. He shows us what the Great Spirit is like and what He wants for all people that He has made.
You are a chosen warrior. That is your promise. This is music from Rain Shadow. Tim Bear speaks truth. Yahweh is with you, and you are a mighty warrior. Never think any less of yourself. Stand up, be proud of who you are, for kings have desired to hear the things that you've heard, and kings have desired to see the things that you have seen. You're listening to Native Thunder. It's time for the storytellers. Here's Red Hawk.
It is said to our elders, we gave them the greatest gift of all. We gave them stories of a time long ago of great wars and great battles, and stories of great warriors. Stories such as this one. An old man had told me once a long time ago a story of 3 little boys riding their horses on the great prairie. Among the Sioux, the buffalo they called Tatanka. One of these little boys' horse had stepped in a gopher hole and thrown him down to the ground. And the other boys had laughed at him because they probably thought it was funny. But this little boy got up and he began to wipe the prairie dirt from his clothes. And all of a sudden he heard warning cries come from the other 2 boys on the horses. This little boy looked around to see where the danger was coming from. And as he turned, there standing in back of him was a young buffalo calf, scraping his hoofs on the ground and waving his horns in the air. A great battle was about to take place. And as time went on, this young bull, he charged the little boy. The little boy had grabbed a hold of his horns, and for the space of many hours they fought back and forth, where the bull would push the little boy, and in return, the little boy would push the bull. But as time went on, the little boy's arms grew tired, and he grew weak. So he lifted his voice to the great Creator who lived above the sky, and he asked for strength, that he could defeat his enemy. And because of his faith, he was given the strength that he needed. And he began to push, and he pushed that bull. And finally, the little bull's legs had given out from under him, and he fell and sat upon the ground. The little bull, knowing he was defeated, got up and he ran back into the herd. And then you could hear the victory cries coming from the other 2 boys on the horses. He just won that great and noble battle. They returned back to the camp that evening. They rehearsed this story to the chief and the medicine man who was there. And the medicine man, he knew this little boy. He walked over to the little boy and he put his hands upon his shoulders. And he spoke these words. He said, because of this thing which you have done, from this day forward until the sun shall shine no more, your name shall be called Sitting Bull. Agree to tunk and tunk. And one day you will be a mighty chief among the people. Aho.
You're tuned to Sky Eagle TV and Radio with your host, Tim Bear.
So privileged to have on the show today Broken Walls from the Mohawk Nation in northern Canada. And we have live on the line Jonathan Miracle, almost Miracle.
Just like a miracle, but with an A. Miracle.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah. Well, it used to be actually Miracle, But my great-great-grandfather was 7'3", and he weighed 365 pounds, and he was the strongest man around.
Wow.
And so they called him the miracle worker, and our name was derived from that.
I see. Wow.
And then I had ancestors who couldn't live up to it, so they switched the I to an A. What they didn't realize is there's other ways to live up to size.
yeah, exactly. They didn't quite measure up to his size. Wow.
Yeah, to the physical size. But
yes.
Maybe some of them matched up to his stature and his spirit, or in wisdom, or
Well, we're talking all the way up to Canada, and again, appreciate you being with us today, Jonathan. The other members of the band, Chris.
Yes.
And Bill.
Chris Delarenzi and Bill Pagaran.
Pagaran. I was wondering how to pronounce that.
Yeah, Bill Pagaran is Tlingit.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Tlingit warrior from Palmer, Alaska, and he's been with me for 6 years now.
Wow. And Chris, an Italian man.
Chris Delarenzi. Yeah, he's an Italian man. We always say he's from the northern mountainous tribes of Italy.
There you go. There you go. Is he a good cook?
Oh, he is an excellent guy to have on the road when it comes to cooking.
All those Italians are good cooks.
Oh, yeah, he's a good cook. He loves his mama.
Yeah. A family man.
Yeah.
You guys, speaking of performing in different places, I was looking on the website here. You've been in Peru, Mexico, China, Hawaii, France, Germany, Switzerland, Australia, Israel, and Costa Rica, all over North America. That's a pretty extensive schedule.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be any less. I mean, we're planning a European tour next year.
Mm-hmm.
We've already got an Alaskan tour set up in March. California in October. We usually do two tours in the southwestern United States twice a year, usually like April and October.
Mm-hmm.
We usually do Alaska
Mm-hmm.
in March, and then we usually choose another month and we do Alaska because we have a lot of favor in those areas, and so we go into those areas and we're able to we've engendered a groundswell of things happening, within. And I think the people that invite us are people who want to see the gap become narrower and filled in, and the walls broken down, so that relationships can truly begin to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I say relationships, I'm talking about the church and how they approach Native people, or I'm talking about communities where there has been unrest between the local Native community and the local white community, that God has given us favor to be able to go into those places and play our music and draw people from both arenas in, and be able to have a place where all of a sudden we can begin to see the beauty in the diversity, rather than seeing the difference being a bad thing. We present it so that the difference can become a good thing.
And has that always been your call, Jonathan?
That's been, the call has developed. I'm coming on to 16 years now, having received the vision, and the vision was to break down walls of separation and to open doors of relationship. And then the next part is to restore self-respect and dignity to Native American people and to indigenous people around the world, because, as a history, the church has presented a message of cultural conversion instead of a message of, here's the gift of Jesus Christ. I know that he can work well in your life. Instead of that, we've been given the message that once we add up to what man wants us to do, then he will give us the gift of Jesus.
Yes, that gift is so precious and will help in every aspect of people's lives, especially a lot of the Native American people who are beat down.
I believe that the vital thing for people to realize is that Jesus doesn't need our help. In like, once we give Jesus, then it's up to us to lead by example, and to love and to serve and to to honor. Because I've heard one great man I heard speak. He said, when you honor the people, you honor God. When you dishonor people, you dishonor God. Because we are all God's children.
That's right. We are God's children. Jonathan, I enjoy the music so much. One of the first songs I wanted to play on the show today is from the Father's Dance album, and it's a song called It's You. Could you explain maybe a little bit about that song or what it's about?
Well, you know, there's times as a songwriter where you go through your seasons, you know, and I'll go sometime, you know, for a while where experiences are the order of the day, and I'm walking in those experiences, and I'm going through all these things, and then there comes a time when God just settles me down, and my heart just begins to open up, and I begin to reflect on the things that I've gone through in those seasons and those experiences. And It's You was the kind of song where I was being real personal with God, and we were talking together, and I was expressing to Him how He's always been there for me when I've cried out to Him. He answered my prayers, and in my own personal life, and when He manifested to me, when Jesus became real in my life, I mean, I saw beauty that I never saw before.
Were you a young person, Jonathan, when you realized that?
No, I was a whiskey drinking, drug abusing rock singer in California. I had left my home. I live on a reservation here in Canada called Tyendinaga. And I left Tyendinaga to go seek my fortune as a rock and roll singer in Hollywood, California, back in 1982. Basically, I sang, I did well, and things really opened up for me. But in 1985 is where my dad told me before I left Canada, he said, when your back's against the wall and you have nowhere to turn, call out on Jesus. And I was in that situation, and I even looked at my dad when he said that to me. I said, I don't need Jesus. And then when I was climbing on the bus, I rode a bus to California from Canada, and when I got down there, things were pretty good for a couple of years, but then not long after, I started to make some mistakes, get caught up in the drinking and get caught up in the drugs, and those things were destroying my heart, my mind, my passion. They were, I wasn't a Christian by any stretch of the word. Then I remembered the words my dad said, and I called out on Jesus, and He was there for me, and I had an immediate response. Within 10 minutes, my father called my head and talked to my father in over almost 2.5 years. And within 10 minutes of when I said, Jesus, help me, my father called me. I realized then that it was more than just, because what happened to me was the church that I saw seemed very hypocritical. And because of the hypocrisy, I walked away from the church, because I didn't see God in the church. I saw man. I saw there was more man visible than there was God.
Yes.
And so for me, I didn't need it. I didn't want what they had, because it didn't look like anything that I wanted, and so I walked away from it. But then I had a true experience with God and Christ, and that's what inspired me to give my heart to Jesus. And then from there, I for 10 years, I kind of denied my heritage and just tried to culturally convert to, Hillsongs and Integrity Hosanna and all the standard worship and everything of the Western Church.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And about 10 years into that, in 1995, God came to me during a message from one of our Osage elders. He was speaking about the walls of bitterness that are built up in the hearts of indigenous people around the world. He said, we have to see those walls broken for the freedom of our people. And right at that moment, God began to speak to me about the walls that needed to be broken and my part in doing that. And that was the birthplace of Broken Walls.
Yes, hence the name.
Yeah, hence the name.
Jonathan, a great story. Isn't God's timing just perfect?
Yeah, that's for sure.
It is. If we just, sometimes we get anxious, but if we'll just wait, things usually work out if we put Him first. From the Father's Dance CD, It's You. Broken Walls on Native Thunder.
It's you who answers my prayers. It's you who shows me that you care. Your strength and your beauty I behold. Your love, it is endless, I'm told. It's you who watches over me. It's you who causes me to see through the fear and the pain. The depths of your love never change. You, Lord our God, I trust in you. You, Lord our God. You, Lord our God, I trust in you. You, Lord our God. It's you who answers my prayers. It's you who shows me that you care. Your strength and your beauty I behold. Your love, it is endless, I'm told. You, Lord our God, I trust in you. You, Lord our God. You, Lord our God, I trust in you. You, Lord our God. Yahweh, hear my call. You pick me up when I fall. Yahweh, hear my cry. Yahweh, it's you, here's my cry. You, Lord our God, I trust in you. You, Lord our God. You, Lord our God, I trust in you. You, Lord our God. You, Lord our God, I trust in you. You, Lord our God.
You're listening to Native Thunder. That's Broken Walls in the song It's You. Jonathan Miracle on the line in Canada. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with me today.
It's an honor.
Were you just up in the Ojibwa Reservation?
Yeah, I was up in Pekanjicum.
And I noticed you have a ministry for the young people and the school kids. Tell me a little bit about that.
We do. We part of our mandate is to see young people be able to accept Christ, but from a position of self-respect and dignity, and not being ashamed of who God created them to be. And so what we because suicide is, I don't know what it's like in your part of the community, but in Turtle Island up in this end, suicide is raging. And the highest rate of suicide in the world is in this community of Pikangikum that I was just at. And it's like, it was just written up in a national magazine here how there's no other place on earth with more suicides than our Ojibwe communities in the north, and especially Pikangikum.
Wow.
And I just made my 14th trip into there, and I've built many relationships with these people. But what we do, we do a high school assembly called Committed to Life, and this high school assembly is all about, you know, showing the kids that they have value, that they are all children of the Creator, and that the Creator loves each one of them the same, and that He doesn't choose non-Native kids over them, but He loves all of us the same. And so our message is to do that, but we do it through a whole bunch of fun things, and it's very high energy. We do the trash can rhythm jam, and we do a whole bunch of other things that really get them engaged. My drummer is a certified teacher, and he put himself through the University of Oregon on a drum scholarship.
Oh, wow.
And my bass player is just being certified now as a teacher. He's an amazing, talented bass player and songwriter and producer. And the drummer he runs a ministry in Alaska called Carry the Cure, and it's also it's a ministry, suicide prevention. So we take that and we go into high schools, and because we know, you know, we as teachers, Bill and Chris and myself, we all know that when we go into those settings, you know, you can't go in proclaiming the gospel, but we certainly can go in with His love in our hearts and translate that love through the things that we do and how we approach the young people. And so we have the opportunity to do a lot of schools and that. And then I guess another swing in the other direction, we do a lot of work in penitentiaries.
Okay.
We've done a lot of penitentiaries in different parts of the United States. We've got some pretty amazing endorsements from wardens and the clergy in there, and the different inmates. We've had lots of responses, and we had one inmate tell us, or the clergy there told us that they'd never seen an effect on their inmates like when we were there. They said the atmosphere of the prison changed after we left, and this was a maximum security state penitentiary.
You know, I was just going to ask what the prisoners' reaction to you, your music, your message, what it was like. It sounds like it was real positive.
It was. Well, you know, I had one Lakota man come up to me. He was a lifer, and he said, I've always known Jesus is the way. He said, but I could never accept Him. And I said, and why not? He said, because they told me I had to give up being Lakota in order to have Jesus. You know, and unfortunately, that's been the way the message has come across, whether intentionally or unintentionally. That's been the way the message has come across to Native American people. And that's why today we only have about 3% of our First Nations population across North America that know Jesus. That truly know Jesus.
Yes. And Jonathan, I admire your work for going to those places, the penitentiaries, and talking with the school children who don't have the opportunities of maybe some of the other children in North America. It's a blessing to do. I bet sometimes when you see those children, it just brings a warmth to your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I shed a lot of tears.
I bet you do.
Shed a lot of tears. I cry for these kids.
But God bless you that you're doing the work that needs to be done, and maybe you can inspire some other people to do the work too. I hope so.
Yeah, I do. Did you went on my website lately?
Yes.
Did you see the report that I just did on Pikangikum?
Was that on the news?
If you go down right at the bottom of the page, there's a thing. I think it's under the Twitter column, right at the top. All my Facebook things and all my Twitter things all go in there. So I just did a report, and it's right at the bottom of the page right now, and it's called Report on Pikangikum 2012. And it's like a 2-page article that I wrote, kind of like a personal first-person everything that happened as we went in and what we did. And I mean, in this community, one family can have anywhere from 1 to 4 suicides within one family, immediate family.
Wow, that's just unbelievable.
And every family in that community has been hit with suicide. There's 2,500 people in the community, and they have averaged between 12 and 16 suicides a year.
Well, let's just ask everyone listening that they make an extra effort in their prayer request to pray for that area and that problem. Let's do that. So if you're listening, please be with us in prayer agreement about that situation there. That's terrible statistics, and for young people too, to be, in that and so down and out that they see no other way out.
I think that what's really important too is we as Broken Walls, we don't want to go into places and just hand out food and I'm not knocking people that do, because those are vital and important things. But our objective is to raise their awareness that they are gifted, that they are people that God honors and God loves and wants to raise up. And so our whole focus is to help them to have vision once again, to help them to break out and to see that they need to find out what their values are, their true values, and begin to make their decisions based on their core values, so that they can become people of integrity and they can walk and be proud of who they are.
Yes.
So what we do is we try to go in with our band and we try to present what we present with excellence in such a way that they're inspired and want to be a part of or do something that is out of the ordinary for their norm,
yes,
which is a very difficult situation.
Well, again, God bless you for encouraging them to do that and being there in that ministry. There's a song on one of your albums, it's Rise Up Mighty Warrior, called River of Life. A very nice song, a very traditional sounding song.
It is. It's derived from a traditional Mohawk song.
Let's take a listen right now, Jonathan. There is a river of life that we can be on. Broken Walls on Native Thunder.
Hey,
Jonathan, I'm so proud of you, man, for doing the work you've done. You've been doing it for a long time. You know, I know God blesses you. It's so nice to talk with people like you. It encourages me.
Well, we need, you know, the big thing with Broken Walls is that we know that everybody can't do what we do, but our big thing is that we need people to support us to do it.
Is there a website or a place they can go? Why don't you give us...
They can go to brokenwalls.com.
Brokenwalls.com.
Yeah, and they can donate right there to support what we're doing. And, you know, we really are in a place where we need that help. Because we're getting more and more calls. I mean, penitentiaries don't pay. Communities that are beleaguered with the different troubles and anxieties, they aren't able to always cover. So we have to raise the funds however we can. And when we have personal partners, that really takes the pressure off for us to be able to say yes when people call. I wanted to mention a couple other things too. We have done some extensive work down in Arizona. We've played in Cottonwood and Apache, Flagstaff, Scottsdale, Window Rock, and we've gone into the mesas where the Hopi people are. Right. Done work there, and we have some upcoming dates in New Mexico, in Gallup and Farmington. Wanted to mention that too. That
I talked to Elsie, who's your secretary, by the way, who's a real sweet person.
Yeah. And
she had mentioned that you're headed for New Mexico on some upcoming dates and possibly South Dakota, I believe.
Yeah, we're doing South Dakota. We're pretty busy in that region. That's been a very steady place with Pine Ridge and Rosebud and those places. We've been pretty active down there for quite some time. Pretty tied to the people, and you know, I just kind of felt like there's going to be a time when we're going to be back in Arizona again and regionally down there, because I feel that our message has been received very well down there.
Yes. You know, we're trying to reach the reservations with the message, and you're being a part of it right now. We appreciate that. Maybe when you get to the Arizona area, we could hook up sometime. I've been wanting to get some bands together, maybe do some shows under a big tent or something, and have a lot of the different reservations attend. Maybe that's something we could plan in the future.
Yeah, it would be good. I know that that kind of thing happens fairly regularly down there. We're going to be in Gallup the 18th and 19th of July.
Okay.
And in Farmington the 20th to the 22nd.
And what kind of events is happening there?
We're going to be at the Four Corners. It's going to be the Aglow, but it's the gathering of men and women from across the Four Corners at the San Juan County Fairgrounds.
Oh, very good.
Farmington.
Very good.
And then in Gallup, we're going to be at the All Nations Assembly, and then they're hoping on the 19th of July for us to go to Fort Defiant.
Do you find it hard to be on the road that much all the time?
I have grace for it.
You do?
God has given me grace.
That's absolutely. And that's what you have to have.
Yeah, I couldn't do it without it. I've got a family. I've got 4 children and my wife. And my wife has agreed that, you know, what I do is of great value to the world and to the nations, and she has gracefully given me, you know, in prayer we've come up with a number 10 to 14 days a month. So in that amount of time, I split that up, like usually, you know, 5-day and a 6-day or 2 6-day tours or something like that. And we are usually out approximately that much time monthly.
Wow, you have a good woman there, Jonathan.
She's strong, but you know, it's always important to make sure that the family is taken care of first.
Yes, yes.
So I work very hard to make sure that's done, and that the needs are met, and that the love is there and the guidance is there that's needed to see my family secure and growing. My son, my oldest son, is at YWAM in Kona, Hawaii.
Oh, really?
He's down taking his DTS, and then he's going off to photojournalism. He's going to be over in the Middle East.
Sounds like he has some of the adventuresome spirit that you have.
Yeah, he's got his dad's adventuresome spirit for sure.
Jonathan, is there a new album coming out? I heard it's going to be called The Path. Is that something that's in the works right now?
The new Broken Walls album is called The Path, and we're in the process of it. We're in about the first third stage. We've just finished 9/10 of the drum tracks, and then we're heading into the guitar, bass, and vocal tracks, and it's going to be the best thing we've ever done. It's got the most. I would say all of our stuff has been passionate, but I think that we've got the passion along with the technique and the technology. That, you know, we've been doing it long enough now, we actually have figured out how to make everything work.
Sure, yeah, sometimes it takes a while.
And so we do all of our own recording and everything. The only part of the process we don't do is the mastering process.
And that should be out when?
It'll be out, we're aiming for January of 2013.
Very good. Very good.
It takes us on average, once we start an album, it takes us about a year to finish it.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into that, I know.
Yeah, we don't take it lightly. We want it to be the stewardship. We want it to be that, you know, that when young people listen to it, they don't go, oh, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. We want them to say, wow, I want to be able to attain to that, you know. I want to be able to work towards something of that caliber.
Yes, what a great goal. Is the Father's Dance CD, is that the last one?
That's the last one, yeah. And, you know, like songs like Father's Dance are truly representative of our heart and what we're trying to convey. You know, it's a song calling fathers back, calling them back to their children, calling them back to their families, to mentor, according to like Malachi, where it talks about the hearts of the sons will return to the fathers. And it's a song saying that it's time for us to choose, you know, to be the true warrior, to be a true father, and mentor our children, and draw our sons back to ourselves, and see our families reestablished, and the dysfunction broken away. And, you know, so when you listen to that song, that's, if you listen to it again, you'll hear that in the song.
Sing to the Mountains.
Yeah, that one hit you, did it?
Oh, yeah, it hit me right between the eyes, man. A little history on that song?
Sing to the Mountains, flying into Alaska. God has given us great favor in Alaska. It's a place where when we go in, we get things done. Hearts are changed, lives are motivated. Freedom is released in people. And as we were flying in, like I just love God's creation. I just love the animals. I love the nature. When we were flying in, it looked like the wingtips were almost going to brush the top of the mountains as we flew in, because the mountain peaks are so beautiful there. And I was just, it was kind of a breathtaking thing. I was just exclaiming in the song, you know, the beauty of His creation, and just singing about it and wanting to express it in such a way that it would motivate and stir other people to realize what we've got around us. You know, we take so much for granted, and we have to realize that it was a blessing and a gift to us.
Yes, and slow down and take a look, take a breath, and realize the beauty that the Creator's given us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jonathan Miracle, Broken Walls, thank you so much for being with me today.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. We'll be looking for that new album, keeping up with your ministry, and hopefully maybe we can hook up in Arizona and do something together. That would be great.
Cool.
From Father's Dance, this is Saying to the Mountains on Native Thunder. to the mountains. That's the music of Broken Walls on Native Thunder. When you talk with bands like Broken Walls, you realize they're not only singing about their ministry, but they're doing a ministry. Maybe it's been in your heart to do something for the Lord, and you've put it off, or you thought, oh, I can't do that, I'm not talented, I can't speak well, I don't play music. But you know there is something that God wants you to do. If you have any desire in your heart whatsoever to do something for the Lord, don't put it off. Ask Him for help for your ministry. Discover your talent, because you have a talent. You were born to do something, to fulfill a purpose. It may be the simplest thing, or preaching before thousands, but whatever it is, do it for the Lord. Ask Him, what can I do for you? Whether it big or small or big, if you're doing it for the Lord, you're doing it for the right reason.
Sky Eagle
TV.com.
You've been listening to Native Thunder on SkyEagleTV.com and Sky Eagle Radio. Recorded at Messiah's Misfit Studios in association with Sky Eagle Television. Thank you for listening.
Hi, this is Tim Bear. If you want to get Sky Eagle TV on your television, don't forget the Roku box. It's R-O-K-U, Roku. You can get it at Radio Shack, Walmart, Best Buy, or order online at Roku.com. It's a little box. It's about the size of your hand. You hook it to your wireless internet. Remember, you have to have wireless internet for that to work. Hook it to your wireless internet connection, and you will watch Sky Eagle TV on your favorite television set. Remember, it's the Roku box, R-O-K-U, available at Walmart, Radio Shack, and Best Buy or Roku.com.